Paint, Mine, Flash, J-Doll, Easy Play, Anytime, Stop, Nada, Much, Slayer's Boxer, C, Bisu, Savior, 16 of the most powerful StarCraft gamers in the world, LG, Intel Centrino, Home TV, Star Invitational.
Welcome back to the GOM TV Star Invitational. This is Nick Tasel's Plot. We are in Group C, the third group of the tournament. Stork, Quashin, Berserker, and Free. They've all played at least one game so far. Free is up 1-0. Stork is down 0-1. Quashin and Berserker, also known as Iris, are tied at 1-1. Yeah, the event down here has been a real success at the GOM TV StarCraft Invitational. I have to say that, it's a real honor to be casting to all you guys. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. We have the 16 best StarCraft players in the world duking it out right now to see who will be the best player in the collective StarCraft history. Now, our next match, actually, let me recap on that previous game, because that was pretty interesting. We had Quashin versus Free on Blue Storm, and like every other freaking PvT we see on this map, Protoss continues to take the Terran's gas. I don't really blame him, though. I'm a Protoss player, and I would be doing the same thing. It's very easy to steal the gas on that map because you already know the location of your opponent. Not to mention, it seems that Marine SCV rushes are very difficult to pull off. So I have to say, overall, I'm very impressed. Good games, though. Huasha tried his best. He did some cool, cheesy stuff the first game against Berserker, and it turned out to be very exciting. I'm pretty pleased with that. The next match we're going to be casting is Stork versus Free. Protoss versus Protoss on Katrina. Moving on to the forums, one person on the forum says Huasa didn't capitalize enough after that early ownage, in my opinion. Somebody else says it turns out to be a very balanced group. Everybody's very pleased with the balance of that, the balance of the player skills in this. Somebody said really smart move from Huasa making. That's actually an old post on the forum. But yeah, we got some more stuff on the forum coming. They're all on the same piece of paper, so I almost accidentally read the same thing twice. We are almost ready for this game to get going. PvP on Katrina. We saw an excellent game. We've seen many good games on this map. I think mirror matchups are probably the funnest to watch on Katrina, because it's very difficult for Protoss to beat Terran on that map. It's very difficult. That's mostly what we see. Oh, and we're starting. Okay. That's Stork. He's the brown Protoss. That means Freeze the red Protoss at the bottom. Players are sharing the bottom right corner of the map. Freeze Expo, which he has in the back of his base, is very vulnerable to drops due to these positions. Doesn't mean it's necessarily a disadvantage. It's just something to note, because Reavers are popular on this map. So if there's a Reaver drop, it could be happening there. On the forum, someone is saying that Stork has 4 wins against Free, and my bets are on Stork. Someone else says Stork has to take this one, and yes, he does if he wants to stay in this tournament. Pylon going out for both players. The positioning of that pylon for Stork is more than likely to force the probe pathfinding to make it to the Vespian Gas Geyser in a more straight line. A lot of secrets in this game. Both players scout after the gateway. However, Free just so happens to be scouting in the wrong direction, as is Stork, actually. This is interesting that Stork actually forked around and went that way. But once those two probes cross each other's paths, they're going to realize the location of their opponent, because it's very rare that somebody would scout a pylon on 9, or excuse me, after their first pylon, which would be on 8. Mainly because there's no ramp. So, since there's no like small ramp that you can block off, it's very easy to scout. You might as well be more economical and scout at the gateway. 2 gateways for both players. That means zealots. Doesn't necessarily mean zealot rushes. A lot of players you get the 2 gateways out. Just get enough zealots to hold off whatever the other guy has, and then they get the Vespian Gas Geyser by building an assimilator on it. Now Free looks like he's comfortable being a bit more aggressive. He'll most likely rush in there with the zealot and the probe. 2 zealot hits plus 2 probe hits kills off a probe. So if you're good at microing, you can do that very fast. Oh man, his micro's quite good. Stork's is. He rushes in here, and it looks like the Nexus is going up for Stork. Now he's going to use his zealot to try to pick off a few probes, if he can. It's a mirror matchup, so every probe counts. Meanwhile, Stork will use that zealot to do the damage to his Free zealot. Excuse me. It looks like Stork actually, Stork actually had his probe at Free's Expo just so that he couldn't Expo there if he wanted to. But Free's managed to Expo there anyways. 2 gateways, just enough zealots to hold off anything initially offensive, and then they go right into the fast Nexus. Cybernetic score now goes up for Stork. Cybernetic score goes up for Free. What we want to look for next is if they're going to upgrade Dragoon range first, if they're going to get a Citadel, and if they're going to, or if they're going to get a Robo Bay. The order of it is very important too. Both players continue to scout each other. The Nexus of Free's about to finish, but Stork's just a step ahead. As we can see, Free is now exchanging his probes. Both players will try to mass up a large army and then most likely go for the contained move. In Protoss vs. Protoss, if you can get in a good location and start to outmass your opponent and get in a position where he can't get out of his base, it's very, very strong. Although the common counter to that is to end up going with the Reaver, especially Reaver with speed, or Templar drops with the shuttle with speed, and attempt to harass your opponent's probes. Citadel first. There's a possibility that since Stork lost his scouting probe, Free is going to attempt to make Dark Templars. But a Robo Bay is lit up for Stork. Robo Bay is generally safer than the Citadel build, but most of the time the Citadel build on most maps isn't that safe, mainly just because you don't have an Expo in the back of your base. You could probably do a DT rush or even get Zealot legs or do something crazy like that on a map like this, because your Expo is pretty much handed to you. You don't have to put up much of a fight for it at all. And he will be getting the DTs. Now, Stork will have the units in time to hold that off. It just seems like Stork is going to be going for a standard 4-gateway Dragoon with Observer build. not too likely he'll be getting the shuttle, but I could be wrong. And these are two very interesting players. Both very strong Protosses. Two of the strongest Protosses in the world right now. Stork does have a 2-0 record against Free historically, but anything can happen. Now he gets his Citadel, which will more than likely be used to get Zealot legs. Now we see the Robo Bay, a robotic support bay. That means he will be getting Reavers, which means Stork will be getting the shuttle, most likely. Although sometimes Protosses get the Reavers simply so that they can walk the Reaver with the rest of his army over to that Expo area and pick up an Expo earlier on. That's easier to do because the Expo is on high ground. Just like most Protoss players who end up getting the Citadel and then the Templar Archives early, he also gets a Forge. That Forge is so that he can get a cannon and counter his opponent's possible DT rush if he happens to send it his way. Shuttle. Now, hopefully, I don't see an observatory. Dude, you know, I really don't. I don't think I see one. I mean, maybe I'm not seeing it. This monitor is a little blurry, but he's going to move these Dark Templars up here. Now, if Stork sees the blurs, he's immediately going to know what to do. The cannon's making right now, and apparently he does not have an observer because it would have been positioned there by now. Going to pick off a few probes and back off. Wow, talk about good timing by Stork. It looks like he's gotten the observatory now, finally. And wow, he's just going to continue to move out anyways. Going to take the shuttle, use this shuttle to drop in the back of Free's base to pull his army away from the front. Here he comes with the Reaver. He did manage to pick it up, taking out a lot of probes. Now he attacks the front. Free's army is divided, and it looks like Stork is going to run over at least a large majority of what his opponent has. Meanwhile, the Reaver and the Zealots doing damage to that Nexus. Stork's build is just so macro-oriented. I believe it is far superior to anything that Free had to offer. Clearly we can see who had the better build order, and this is something that Stork is known for. Looks like he's going to rush back here, possibly try to take out that Nexus, or maybe just go back there to try to support that Reaver. Here he comes now. Reaver will go down first. Smart move by Free. He wants to take out the Reaver initially. Yeah, and he will target fire the Nexus. Stork is completely and totally dominating this game. Once again, Stork. Okay, this is almost over. This is just brutal. I mean, there's just not much that Free can do right now. Free doesn't even have a lot of recovery options. His Dark Templars have finally been spotted. Stork knows Protoss so well that he just knew that even though there were DTs out there and that a cannon might be at the front of his opponent's base, he still knew he had enough to actually pull off that maneuver. He pulled out that maneuver basically completely blind. Very impressive. I think we've all learned a lot during this game. Now he's got these Dragoons coming in here. The very positioning of these gateways makes it good for the red Free to turtle back there. Microing these Dragoons very carefully. Picking off Templars before they can storm him. A storm goes down, but man, there's just nothing he can do. Free seems a bit shooken up by this because he's actually he didn't have those probes mining for a little bit. He's remaking that Nexus, but I mean, there's nothing else he can do. Good game. Stork is just simply put superior as a Protoss versus Protoss player. He does not look very happy, Free GM. That is too bad for him. Stork will now be 1-1. Free will now be 1-1. And stay tuned, guys. We got more games coming up with the GOM TV StarCraft Invitational.
wanna be a Kennedy.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're such a good help.
It's my job, so don't forget to learn this too.
I won't, I promise. Oh yeah, whenever you write new comments, you just make sure the paper